This is some of the most useful rhythm guitar to learn. My name is Rusty. Welcome to my channel. This hammer-on and pull-off style of rhythm is so useful. If you know some basic bar chords, you can learn this style of rhythm. In the first part of this lesson, I will break down the rhythm parts of these tunes. And in the second half, I will teach you some riffs that you can play around those chords. We can learn so much from these iconic rhythms. So grab your guitar and join me in this fun rhythm guitar lesson. Man, I really do love playing some clean rhythm. Let's first look at the chords for Long Train Runnin'. G minor 7, C minor 7, E flat 7, D7. So in both of these tunes, the right hand is key to creating this rhythm groove. Let's take Long Train Runnin' in two parts for the rhythm. The first part is the hammer-on pull-off idea. Slow. So you're taking, I'm just hitting the 5 strings here, starting with the A string and hammering on to this G minor 7 chord. It's not an easy task. These rhythms will really make you a much better guitar player. So hammering on from just barring in the 10th fret here, the 5 strings, not the E string, but and then hammer on to 12 and to 11 on the B. And then pull off. That's the movement there. So again, slow. So what gives this life is this constant movement with the right hand. Check this out. So to practice this, mute the strings here with your left hand and then create that groove. Just use your ear. I'm not stopping the up and down motion with the right hand, but I'm just accenting the groove. And if you struggle with that, do it slow. Do it with a metronome. Slow is even better. When you do it, when you add the chord, this is what you get. Not an easy task. Practice this. It will really make you a much better guitar player. I hope you find these lessons helpful. And thanks so much for all your support, everyone. Now we can add that same concept to the rest of the chords in that progression. It goes to C minor 7 is the next chord. And then that E flat 7. In the recording, it really accents. So the movement here is the full E flat 7 chord, moving from 11 to 10, leaving these two fingers there though, on the E string, then going to the D7 chord. So E flat 7, moving that down, and back to G minor 7. So I'm going to leave a link for this backing track. It's fun to practice the rhythm. And coming up shortly, I am going to break down some ways to play some lead lines around those chords. So all the way through. So let's move on to the Sultans of Swing rhythm. And again, this first part of the video, I'm going to finish up these rhythm ideas, but stay with me. Coming up, I'll show you some ways to play some lead lines around those chords. So now let's look at the chords in this famous tune here. D minor, C, B flat, A, and then the F chord. So this groove is similar to Long Train Runnin with the hammer on and pull off idea. Again, you need to get this groove in your right hand before you start hammering and pulling off these chords. So in the intro of that tune, it is hammering on in the same way, but doing the full D minor chord, not a seventh. But just, you got those 5 strings there and hammer on to the D minor chord. That second move is barring in the 5th fret the G and B strings and hitting the A note in the 7th fret of the D string. Just do that twice, then hammer on in the same way to that D minor chord. Again. So the movement's slow with this right hand groove. Now these aren't exact as the recordings. These are just some great ways to get you to start working on this type of rhythm, because it's something that will just make your guitar playing level up. And you still can go right down the cycle of chords with that same up and down motion. F, C, B flat, back to the beginning. And those ideas I will break down coming up shortly. We can play around the chords. This hammer-on pull-off idea with the rhythm guitar is in a lot of songs that we really enjoy. I did one a few weeks back. Listen to the music. Same idea. We're hammering onto notes and parts of the chord and pulling off. It really gives your rhythm guitar playing some movement. And you can use this idea just in a simple 1-4-5 minor blues. Let's say A minor, D minor, E minor. That pull-off idea really adds a lot of movement and excitement to your playing. So let's move on to some lead riffs around these chords. Let's start with Long Train Runnin'. So from this G minor 7, we can add this note in the 13th fret on the E string. And in the recording, they use that shape. You can hear it. So again, you just have the G minor 7, and you can add that pinky note. And then on the C minor 7, so we have the C minor 7, add your pinky here, 11th fret of the B string, then down to 10, and open. And you can do that actually with both these notes. On the E string, 11 and 10. B string. And like I did with the A minor. You can add these movements to any, I'm showing you in some minor chords, but they work with major chords too. And then as it turns around in this tune, add that pinky in there. You can, it's just a way to add a little movement, and just that upper note just gives it a little excitement real quick. I'll leave a link for both backing tracks because these are fun to improvise over too. The G minor pentatonic scale works so well over this Long Train Runnin'. If I'm improvising, I want the G minor pentatonic that's right at this G minor chord here. And again, like I taught in other lessons, this root note in the 12th fret, this G note, is your best friend. So I really like when I'm improvising over this, a full bend on 13 of the B string. You're bending to a D note. And then you briefly hit this once or twice on the 13th fret of the E string. When you go to the root note here, you can just release the bend, 11, and then 12th fret of the G string. And you can walk right down that scale. Just fits over that chord like a glove, and all of those chords you can improvise with that scale. That's another lesson to get deep into improvising on this, but this is a great way to have fun with this backing track. All right, moving on to Sultans of Swing. Mark Knopfler does some of the best guitar work ever in the history of rock music, I believe. When he just has that really soft touch he just plays with his fingers. But he played around every one of these chords in this song. Really, in the same thing, this is a D minor chord. You can use the D minor pentatonic that's right here. And then he's using elements of the minor scale, but I'm still looking at the structure. It's like we did earlier on this A note here, which is part of the D minor chord. And then barring in the 5th fret, the G and B strings. And then hammering onto the D note from 5 to 7 of the G. then you can rake up to this 5th fret E string, this A note, by muting. So 5, 8, 5, and then the 6th fret of the B string. Again. Then 5, 6, 5, hammer on pull off, and then hitting that root note in the 7th fret of the G string again. This is all around this chord. And then another great one he does as it walks down to the A chord. You can start with just simply pulling off of the D note here on the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret, but you leave the chord intact, this A chord. Going to F. On that riff, we're just looking at this triad of an A chord, 9 on the G, 10 on the B string, and then 9 on the E string is a triad of A. So for me, that's how I look at it, is just from here, I'm going up to that triad, but I'm doing it in with a pull off. So pulling off from 10 to 9 on the E string, and then hitting 10 on the B, and then 9 on the G string. So slide down from 9 to 7 now, and hitting 9 on the D string, and then 7 to 6, and then hitting 7 on the D string. Slow one more time. And then it's going to the F chord. I know I showed you the F down here, but if you feel comfortable, looking at these shapes is the key to improvising over this progression. So you have this is an F chord right here, an F triad. So 7 on the D string, 5 on the G string, and then 6 on the B string is an F triad. You also have a C triad here, barring in the 5th fret of the D, G, and B strings. Get used to pulling off, because that's actually what we did with just the rhythm part. You put one finger up here, it's a B flat on the 8th fret, D string, F, C, B flat. You have that minor pentatonic is right there. Again, I'll leave a link for these backing tracks, because you can practice these ideas for hours, because there's so much rhythm and lead possibilities with these tunes. I mean, just making this video, I had a blast. Let me know if the lesson was helpful. Thanks for all your support, and let's talk soon.